The next Apex update is honestly what we needed, but I noticed when taking a closer look at the update that there's some things you might love and there's a few things you might be mad at. And I think Respawn realised we don't like this type of event and they might stop them. We'll talk about that later though. But first, Respawn have patched a new movement tech that recently emerged, which in my opinion was pretty harmless. I don't know why they deleted it from the game. This movement tech was called Sigma Stepping. Yes, Sigma Stepping. Basically, this movement tech gave a use to the red jump pads that Octane has on his perk tree. Ever since the Octane red jump pad came out, people have realised it's quite a useless perk because it's meant to give controller players the ability to tap strafe, but most of the time people prefer picking other perks over the red jump pad perk because it just doesn't work how it's meant to and it doesn't feel nice to use. This was until a few people discovered that there is a secret movement tech built into the red jump pad where if you move backwards while initiating your second jump, it will throw you way further, making the red jump pad basically a jump pad that gives you extra distance. To do this, you had to input certain movement keys at certain times, so it was classed as a movement tech. But recently, in the newest set of patch notes, it seems Respawn weren't too happy about this movement tech because there's a patch note that reads, Octane, fixed players getting extra velocity from upgraded jump pads using certain inputs, meaning Sigma Stepping has now been patched, which is really unfortunate because the red jump pad is now going to fall into relative obscurity again. It's a shame, but I guess Respawn had their reasons to patch it. We know Respawn prefer to embrace movement techs like tap strafing and super gliding, but I guess this one was one step too far for them, or one Sigma step too far for them. After the trailer and patch notes came out though, people started realizing something pretty crazy about the skins in this event. Respawn actually straight up told us what these skins were going to be like a month ago. Because if you're not aware, Respawn did an Ask Me Anything at the start of the season where one of the developers role-played as Alter and answered questions in character as Alter. And one of the questions they answered was about alternate versions of the legend. And Alter mentioned that there's a version of Walter Fitzroy who loves computers and fashion, there's a version of Conduit that's inspired by something a lot more interesting, and there's also an alternate version of Lifeline that's a lot less medic-y. The thing is, if we look at the skins for this new event, there's a version of Walter Fitzroy who loves computers, check, because we got Crypto Walter. There's also a version of Conduit inspired by something a lot more interesting than a Titan, because here she's inspired by Revenant, and there's also a version of Lifeline where she's a lot less medic-y because obviously her doc now just stabs people like a crazy person. I mean, London much? So Respawn really got us there. That was a good teaser, and I don't think anybody realised that this was a teaser. Believe it or not, that wasn't the only teaser that Respawn laid out during the Ask Me Anything. Somebody asked Alter what her favourite Apex map is, and Alter answered, it's a place that we've never seen before, but it's getting torn apart piece by piece. She does say though, we will see it soon, so maybe this teaser will come true soon as well. The thing is though, if we go back to the question where Respawn were revealing the skins early, at the time a lot of us thought Respawn were referencing Lifeline Reborn when they said there's a version of Lifeline that's a lot less medic-y. Because if you're not aware, there was a leak that Lifeline is going to get reborn like Revenant and her abilities are going to be completely reworked, to the point where her ultimate is no longer a care package but it's something called Shockbot 3000, which basically turns Doc into a placeable robot and any enemy who comes near Doc will be damaged and forced physically away from the Doc. But I guess the Lifeline rework wasn't the thing being referenced in this post. You may think it's a strange decision for Respawn to release the Lifeline Prestige skin a few seasons before she gets reworked, because it seems like the intelligent decision to release the Prestige skin in the same season she gets reworked while the hype is high. But to be fair, Lifeline is the second most picked legend right now, so still this thing's probably gonna sell like crazy. Even though this is one of the most criticized Prestige skins I've seen in a long time. People simply aren't happy with the design, and honestly, I think people aren't happy with Prestige skins because at the end of the day, they are just normal legendary skins. There's nothing special about them, they don't evolve in game, they don't have any special effects, they are just a skin. And you know what, I think it's true. Prestige skins are pretty mid, they have a long way to come, and the only way people will actually appreciate them is if they did something special. Fortnite have plenty of skins that have special effects, like Peely, who gets more damage throughout the game, or the million other Fortnite skins that have a secret little feature. Respawn really needs to catch up in the Prestige skin department, and honestly, if they don't want to, I'd rather they just release new heirlooms for legends who already have heirlooms. Screw recolors, just give them new heirlooms. We're already doing the same for reactive skins. We're at the point now where we're making reactive skins for guns that already have reactive skins in a previous battle pass. But what are your thoughts on Prestige skins right now and the state of them? One thing we can all agree on for this event though is that we're happy that it's a collection event rather than one of these milestone events, and I think Respawn have realized this. Ever since these milestone events have come out, people have been constantly criticizing them and refusing to buy from them because they're simply too unethical and they don't let you directly buy skins. You have to gamble to get any skin you want, and Respawn have realized this because in the new patch notes, Respawn said, first things first, direct unlock is back. So they've specifically stated that our ability to directly unlock skins through an event is back, and I don't know why they would state this other than to say that they realise people don't like the events where you're forced to gamble for skins. And then they state again that all 24 double take limited time cosmetics can be unlocked via event packs or individually. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come, that Respawn have realised we don't like these type of events and we appreciate the ability to unlock skins individually, because personally I will pick up a few skins from this event simply because they're good, but I am not buying out the whole event or gambling for these skins. So thank you Respawn, and hopefully we see no more of these events or less of them, because people clearly hate them, and now Respawn realise, I guess. This does come with rumours that Respawn are going back to making heirlooms after previous rumours that they were temporarily discontinuing heirlooms to make Cobalt Guitars a big thing. I guess because Cobalt Guitars either failed or didn't meet expectations, they are going back to old reliable heirlooms. Hopefully Apex monetization really sorts itself out though, because when I made the video talking about if Apex is dead, a lot of people said they simply aren't playing because they don't agree with the monetization or feel like Respawn just see them as a big bag of money sitting at the controller. One funny thing I didn't realize when I was reading the patch notes yesterday is this simple line here. It was basically just saying Crypto's EMP will now affect people in Altar's Void, and when I read it I was just like, oh yeah, Respawn are just hatching interactions that they didn't anticipate. But it turns out Respawn pushed this specific patch because a pro team came up with a cheeky strategy. This strategy was pioneered by Tech and his team, and it only required two legends, Crypto and Altar, and basically when they were ready to rush a team, they would activate the Crypto EMP, and at the second it goes off, they went through an Altar portal straight into the room the enemies are. So when they came out of the portal, the enemies were stunned and also had lost some shield. Honestly, it's an insane strategy and it actually works. You can hardly call it a meme strategy because it was very effective. And when this strategy was patched in the most recent patch notes, literally because of him, he just tweeted, lol, I hate Apex, and then tagged one of the balance guys saying, why you do this? They did this a lot and it's honestly just kind of insane. And there's one last patch note I'd like to talk about because I didn't mention it yesterday. The Switch is finally getting an FOV slider. Originally I made a video a few months ago talking about how people modded an FOV slider into Switch and were using it to basically dominate Switch games because it gave them an advantage, but Respawn are now leveling the playing fields and giving everyone an FOV slider at the risk of it lagging their game. But basically this event is going to be pretty solid. The patch notes were great, they were literally everything we wanted, and hopefully Respawn will stop doing these damn events. They seem to be hinting at it, so I'm holding out hope. But make sure to subscribe because I'm sure when this event comes out, there's going to be some sort of insane glitch that I have to talk about.